Horsham District and finals time. Big Peter Weir, well, he loves being in the finals. He joins us now. G'day, big fella. How are you?
Yeah, good, Wayne. And yeah, it's a great time of the year as we enter the finals. Unfortunately, won't be any crowds there this weekend, but it should still be a ripping weekend of footy and netball.
Oh, it's going to be a ripping time, and your side's in it. I'll get to that in a while because I want to have a look last week. Rapanya, way too good for Taylor. It's like 18-19 to 9-12 in what was a consolation match. Probably the only thing to come out of that for Rapanya was that they got to their big goal kicker in Musgrove, got going with 6. But overall, a really good win for Rapanya and a great season from them.
Yeah, definitely. They finished second on the ladder. It would have been a long time since they've been at the pointy end of the ladder, so the boys can give themselves a pat on the back, but they'll be understanding there's a lot of work to go yet as we enter the finals part of the year. And yeah, Taylor's Lake boys finished on not a bad note. They were more than competitive in that game, and Andrew Phelan always plays well, as does Trey Martin, and they were both in the better players.
Kalki kicked 24-16 to beat Laharam 4-5. These two sides have played off in finals in recent years, and gee, this was a very big win by the boys from the wheat paddocks out there at Kalki.
I think the Demons have finally run out of legs for the year, and Kalki are the opposite. They're full of running as always, especially on their home deck, and they were way too good. And yeah, it was a great hit out for them leading into their first final this weekend against the Japan Rainbow boys.
Swifts take on Pimpanayo last weekend, and I tell you what, they were good. They did their job to try and get into the finals, 25-15 to 6-4, but it just wasn't enough, was it?
No, they were a bit slow in the game earlier. It was quite even at quarter time, but after then it was all one-way traffic. And yeah, it'd be disappointing for Stall because, as you can see, there is quite a big gap from the 7th team to a few of the bottom teams, and they probably think they had a good enough squad, as does a lot of people in the league, to be in the finals. But yeah, the 6th position went to Natty Muck, and Natty Muck beat Stall, so they've only got themselves to blame, the Stall boys, for not making the finals, and Natty Muck are deserving of that spot.
They are. Let's go to and have a look at the Carnarvon Lior and the Eden Hope Apsley report, and it was Natty Muck 15-13, 103 to beat Carnarvon Lior 8-9-57 after I built them up. I even went and tipped them to cause an upset. They were in such good form, and you Cougar people let me down.
Yeah, I was with you on this one, Wayne. I thought the Carnarvon boys might have created an upset here in the last round of the year, but it wasn't to be, and it shows Natty Muck are very much a deserving final side, and they were able to hold off the pressure that Carnarvon placed on them going into the game and throughout the game. And yeah, for Carnarvon, it's probably been a disappointing year, but the move over to the Horsham District Leagues proved the right one with the interruptions that they would have faced if they stayed in the K and TFL. And I guess out on the field, Hamish Bennett from outside looks like a great player and can hold his head high and led the team around out on the field.
Certainly did. And Brian with those 6 again in good form. Koenig with 5 played well for Natty Muck. And very interesting here too, because they're got their kids that I think have got through, and that's a great situation. I reckon netball-wise too. And is it right that you will actually come up against them, the Japan Rainbow Storm, in finals?
Yeah, all eyes will head to the netball court from the Carnarvon team, and yeah, in the A-grade netball, the Carnarvon team faces our girls. It should be a great game of netball, and same in the under-15s, Carnarvon and Japan Rainbow in that second final. So it'll be something for the Carnarvon people to look forward to and support over the weekend. It
certainly is a good thing. The Eden Hope Apsley people haven't had much to look at this year. 3 goals, 4 done by Narrajua Kwantong, 28 goals, 12. They did share it around, the boys from the Bomberland, with Bushby having 5 goals to lead it out of 28. If you were there, Weary, and your side kicked 28, you would have kicked a lot more than 5, I reckon.
I would have tried, but it's been an end to a dominant season from Narrajua Kwantong. We probably haven't seen such dominance since the Giants were in the league a few years ago and gave everyone a touch-up. But I think if you look at the ladder and the percentage of over 300%, you'd think they're a high-scoring side every week. But I think the Kwantong boys, a big feature of their games, their Misley defence as well, and that's going to be important for them going into finals. And yeah, brought to the end of disappointing seasons for Eden Hope. I see Lockie Middleton's back on the field, and I'm not sure whether he's returning from injury, but he's a past league medalist, so he would have provided a bit of a lift for the Eden Hope boys in the last couple of rounds. But yeah, it was too little too late for the Saints this year.
All right, let's go to the Japan Rainbow Storm report. And you got knocked over in the senior football by one of your nemesis in this competition. It was the Kangaroos, 17-13 to Japan Rainbow 4-9. And a little bit of a crack is emerging at the Storm.
Yeah, disappointing afternoon at Japarra. Harrow were very good. We touched on it last week that the finals had come early, and Harrow definitely brought that intensity and showed they're a hardened team at this time of the year. And we were just off the pace, and looked second rate for most of the day. Ash Clugston tried to get the game back on our terms, but apart from him, there was very few winners across the ground. And Harrow looked like a well-oiled machine, and looked like they're returning to full strength and be very dangerous come over the next month.
You're just the one multiple goal scorer in Daniel Matson there in that competition. The reserve grade, tough outing for your lads. As always, they try hard, but this year has definitely not been their year. 24-12 to 1-3.
Yeah, you could see the Harrow boys have got a bit of health back in their list now because there's some very good players running around in their twos team, and they're way too good for our boys. And Adam Schultz, who was auditioning for a spot in our back line, managed to sneak forward, but it was lucky he did slow man because he kicked our only goal for the game, and it would have been a pretty meagre scoreline without that. It
certainly would have been. Fuller also amongst the better players there for your side on the day. In the 17-year-old age group, and it come as a fantastic game for you blokes. It was so exciting. 16-19, 115 to beat Harrow Balmoral 6-7-43. If you don't mind, that is, I reckon, in all the time we've been covering Horsham District together, Weary, that's got to be probably one of the best wins you've had at this age group.
Yeah, for sure. That's the best win they've had. And Louis Cox kicked 7 goals, which is great to see. He's been training really well in the seniors, so it's great to see some of that effort get rewarded out on the field. And, it was a great way to finish the season. And another great job done by Steve Leach to coach those boys this season. He's done a great job and kept their interest up, and they're improving, as we've seen, every week out on the field, and definitely improving as they move up the ladder. So well done to the under-17 boys on a good year in trying conditions. Yeah,
great stuff. P. Oakley with a couple, and P. Clark and P. O'Halloran also got 3. P. Clark, L. Cox, K. Efford, M. Leach, A. Stott, and P. Oakley in the better players. It's so exciting when the kids get up and win so well. And I tell you what, the equal excitement came for the under-14s. What about this? We have been talking about this excitement machine around your club all year, and here they go again. 6 goals, 12-48 to Harrow Balmoral, 3-2-20. If you don't mind, you've won both junior grades. Would that have happened in all the time you've been in Horsham District?
Nah, first time for a long time, and your boys, the Eckerman boys, played a great game. That did Marcel Badura, and it's a pity the day didn't end as it started because the boys couldn't have got the club off to a better start, and that's a great win and gives them great confidence going into the off-season that their skills are improving, and there's a lot of good footballers in amongst them.
Great stuff from the kids, and the parents just would be so happy about that, and certainly love to see things go well for the kids in our junior competitions. Let's go to finals football. The 2 elimination finals. It's Saturday. It's at Narrabri. It's at Quantong Ground, and it's Harrow Balmoral taking on Nadimak. Your tip in the senior footy?
I think Harrow will be too good. Nadimak, as I touched on earlier, definitely deserved their spot in the finals. But Harrow, they got strengths all the way across the ground, and the way they played last week was really impressive. I think Nadimak have to find a way to break even through the centre. If they get involved in a shootout, Harrow are way too good, and Harrow's forward line, I think, would handle any of the back lines in the competition. So they've got to get the ball out of the centre and get it moving their way. But I think, on a good day there at Quantong, Harrow boys would be too strong and move into the second week of finals.
All right, Sunday elimination final. You head to Harrow, and it is the Keys. Oh, dearie me, they're in good form too. They take your blokes on, and I'm told that the cross-border restrictions won't help you get your couple of players in Hunter and Maslin back. Gee, the Keys have got a start favourite here, Big Weary.
Yeah, the Keys, they always play well against us too, so we're expecting a cracking final. I think they've got a few boys out as well, so you can't just say that the clubs are missing players on both sides. There's a lot more to it than that. And I think Stewie Farr, he's been proven in finals and he's won a lot of premierships with his game style, and that's all about effort and intensity. So that's got to be our focus. We've got to match him in that area, and if we do, I think we've got enough talent across the park to kick a score. But watch the game. We're pretty hot early, and we'll find out early on in the game who's there to play and who's going to eventually run out winners.
I think your young guns are going to have to play above themselves, and then the old veteran in Schulze, the plumber coming into the side, he will be a very good addition. You got the young Cox, Xavier Oakley. Another good player is young Preston, a big tall lad. They're going to have to lift it to senior level and to finals football here, Weary. That's the key, I think, for you blokes. That run that you get from Jacob Cox and so forth, that they're going to have to play at a higher level this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. They were challenged last week and they probably failed that test, but then the previous week they couldn't have been better against Rapanyup. So we know we've got it in them, but as you said, Flo, man, those boys will get challenged by the Kalkee midfield and the Kalkee flankers to run hard and work hard. And if they can step up to the plate, that'll give us every chance to win the game. And if they can't, it could be another tough afternoon for the JR boys.
I'll tell you what, there's a lot of rivalry here too, because you've built that up since you've been in Horsham District. This is kind of the rivals game in a lot of ways for your fellas. So you're going to go out there real hard. I know a lot of friendship amongst farmers in that region too. So we'll look forward to the results coming through. Big Weary, you take care out there on the field. I know that you're looking for a bag yourself, but it's going to be tough going. You have a good defence on you, so we'll look to see how many goals you kick, how the team goes to this weekend.
Yeah, it should be worth watching, Flo, man. And for the people who can't get to the game, obviously with crowds, they're live streaming it across the Horsham District League website. So everyone will still get the opportunity to tune in and hopefully see a great game of senior footy.
And to the girls playing in the netball in the 2 grades, the A grade and the 15s from the Japan Rainbow Storm, all the very best. And to you, Big Peter Weir, we'll get your feedback on the games next weekend.
No worries, Wayne. Hopefully we drive home with a couple of wins.